Well, today we are changing out the tail light, the upper tail light on the truck, because the wiring is kind of rotted out in the old one. I've also cleaned this. I'm going to reseal this surround because it's leaking. Okay, we got it clipped in. As you can see, it's working. Flex Paste, not a sponsor. Well, we've got it sealed. It's not the prettiest thing, but it's good and sealed so it'll quit raining inside the truck. Okay, drying again. Using a soft touch, which I never use, but this thing's painted, it isn't gonna hurt. Plus, maybe it'll get some of the black stuff off that the other car washes haven't. Okay. So with that, there's an improvement. I fixed the hole that got knocked in it from the high pressure wash, and it is still seeping a little bit. I'm thinking from the tail light, so, but that's a whole lot better than it was. It's not soaked like it was before, and I'll see what I can come up with to address the tail light without completely sealing off the tail light. I'm sealing the truck again, trying this again, and then you can see right down here, oh, if you can, maybe it'll focus. This is where it's leaking now on this back seal. So I'm going to clean it and fix it. And I was going to try to seal this, but it has gotten moisture in it, so I'd rather not seal it anymore and see if that moisture works out. So, we'll see. But yeah, it's leaking from around this stuff, so I got to seal this up again. Let's see if I can. So, that's going to be this one. Fixing it again with Flex Seal again. I had to get more clear. Just cleaning it with alcohol. Wiping it down, get any junk out of it so it has ability to seal, and you can see with the stuff that's coming off of my finger. And get the best I can, and I'm just going to have to kind of build it up in these corners. And then I'm going to seal around this too. I can't get everything back in the back there. I don't want to make too much of a dam on either side because it does potentially have to let water out. But I want to try to seal it as much as I can. So I'm going to clean it best I can, then let it dry. Okay, now I'm letting it dry. You can see all some of the junk I got off of it, which is even more inside. Just cleaned it up. And as normal, not a sponsor, not a sponsor, but probably should be as much as I use the stuff. So, but keep working on this, and you can see where it's leaking. I poured alcohol in, and you can see the alcohol dripping through. It's right back in there where it's leaking. So that's going to be interesting to get to. But I fixed this, and water gets around this and getting down there still. So it's back in there, if you can see. It's back down in there that it's leaking. So I'm going to try to figure out a way to get stuff back there better. I'm not at home, I'm at the farm, so I'm having to go through what we got, and I got this long piece of trimmer cable I'm going to try to use as a spreader to push it down along that seam in there, since in there is where it's actually leaking. If it will focus, there it goes. In there is where it's actually leaking. And push it down as far as I can both ways, because I don't want to just fill it, because if I make a dam here, that's going to make for a potential rust spot and rust buildup spot. So I'll get that and use this stuff and dry. But this is clear. Put a good bead all down that at the very least, and then I'll have to spread this out. Build it up and push it down is what I'm going to have to do. Yep. Overbuilt the pressure just a little bit. And then I'm going to try to push it down with this thing. And see if I can do this while trying the camera. And I'm just pushing it down and back. And I'm going to try to get that whole seam. I'll actually probably end up sealing the whole bottom part of this thing, but it should still be able to push water through. So I'm just going to be doing this, putting a little bit more in and spreading it, putting a little bit more in and spreading it, and hopefully I can get this all sealed up. I'm going to let it dry, then I'm going to test it with rubbing alcohol again later. After a couple days of it setting up. So I'm going to keep this. And I should be wearing gloves with these, but I've used up all my gloves, so I'm not. I'm having to clean it up, but I got it pushed down there best I could. Trying not to get stuff on my phone. So I'll keep working. Okay, I've used an entire can, and as you see, I did the inside. You can still see that one's open. I left a route for that to exit out. So, and I sealed this side completely, all the way down. I actually did this side that way too. I left the bottom open so that it can still drain. So if any water does get in there, and I have sealed this side that's leaking bad completely off and sloped it so it won't hold water, and all the water will flow down that way. Plus, like I said, I tried to do my best to reseal that. So hopefully this will solve the leaking. If not, I'll buy another can, because I've used that full can, and just continue filling it until it complies. So I'm just going to fill this till it complies. That's basically what this sums up to. So, because that side should not leak, because there should not be any way for water to get into it now. Although it does have a way to drain. Otherwise, there should be no way for water to get in there. Unless it gets in there behind that somehow, which is going to be fun, but I ran out of caulking. So I even sealed the plug for the wire, so if water gets in that way, it's not going to. So, we'll see. All left to do is put it back together, and then I'm going to be driving home in the rain probably, so we'll see if the piece of paper gets wet. Alright, so, till then. Crazy Karl. Well, this slowed it down, but I think water got in and back behind there, because when I got a downpour, a really hard rain, it did start leaking in there again. So I'm going to seal it more. Got remnant of another can. Seal it back here, seal it in here, seal it around, then I'm going to seal inside too. And I can't do a whole lot on camera because my phone keeps wanting to die. Okay, that is very sealed. I've sealed everything off. So, it has a nice reservoir, so any water gets in there is not going to flow back. I've got one little spot, pin spot to clean up there. I actually had gloves this time. I'll clean it up a little better after it dries, but that's just going to sit and cure. And I'm going to see about sealing on the inside. Okay, I cannot fit in here good, but I'll show you what I've been doing. I've got it backfilled as much as I can in there, all the way up where there's water. And I'm going to smooth it out with my finger, using a glove this time. And I'm also going to seal that up there a little bit too with what's left. So hopefully this will do it. Okay, I've gone through what was left of that can, and got that sealed inside, sealed this up as far as I could reach before I ran out of sealant, sealed the back part of this as well. I would have done more. Eventually I'll do more all the way up, just in case it's leaking along this seam, because the water's coming in over here. Sealed inside, resealed that, sealed all of that, so there should not be any way There's still a way for water to get out. There should be no way for water to get in. So, we'll see. If it still leaks, I'm out of ideas because I'm running out of stuff to seal. And I've used 2 whole cans almost of Flex Seal. Maybe a quart, not even a quarter. Probably about a 1/6 of that can was used on other vehicles and other projects. The rest of it's gone in here. But no water will stand. That's nice and flat, so it'll drop water out. There should be no water going back in there. The sealed, the wires are sealed, that's sealed. Filled it up back there. I'm going to have to screw into that stuff once it's set, which is going to be fun. That's going to be tomorrow. And it's sealed inside as well, and all up and down this seam, just in case this seam was leaking. Did the back of this seam, just in case this seam was leaking. Yeah. So, if it still leaks, I have no clue where the water's coming from. Because I'm out of places to seal. So, that's going to be it for this one, and I will try to get a video sometime this week of it sealed. It's supposed to rain again, so hopefully I can do it from that. As you can see, the seat's still kind of grody from years of being rained on, but we'll see. I'm going to put a couple napkins on it so I can tell. Until later. Okay. As you can see there, and the water built up. It rained hard last night. It wasn't supposed to, but it did. And of all great things, the napkin is dry. No water. None. So I think I finally got it sealed. So a whole lot of sealing stuff, but I got it sealed. So until next time on Crazy Karl Projects, have a good one. Remember to subscribe, share, like, and bug other people with it. Have a good one.